Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out on this rainy morning. We appreciate all of you being here. I'm Krista Karcher. I'm the new Public Relations Manager for the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. And we are just so excited to give you details about the S.O.S pilot program that we're introducing to you today. We do have a number of speakers, and they will all be giving you a little bit of details of how our different departments are working together to make this happen. And we will be giving you a chance to ask questions after the presentations. So please allow everyone to speak, and then afterwards, we will give you all some time after to ask the individual people your questions. So right now, I would like to introduce to you Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough Jr.
Appreciate that. First of all, again, I want to reiterate, I appreciate you all coming out on such a rainy day. It means so much to me for you all to be here. You know, I've got to tell you how we got here, because I got to be transparent with you. It was never on my vision board to move in this direction. Several months ago, I received a phone call from a young lady who I never met, never seen her. She left a message on my phone after I was pleading for help. That Monday morning when I was talking with the Chief Penn, he told me that the woman had passed. She was killed over the weekend. And, you know, as we say, I must say her name. May she rest in peace. Miss Rhonda Oglesby. When I came into the office, they told me that she had left a voicemail for me. And I listened to the voicemail, and it brought tears to my eyes. And I've listened to that voicemail at least every week since then. So I said to myself, maybe I'm supposed to do something with this. So I gathered my friends, my support group, the DA's office, Chief Penn, Kernersville, Bridges to Hope, Family Services, Probation Parole, everybody that works in that space. And I asked them would they come to a meeting. And they said, of course. I said, I think that we can do better than what we're doing. I want to double down. I don't want to be politically correct on this one. I don't. I want to go on the offense. And so we started having discussion in our small groups. We went to Charlotte to look at what they do. And we said, we can do this like never before. I want to thank in advance my commissioners. I want to thank so many people, representatives from the state, Mika Brown. I would be remiss if I don't give Baker, so many people that went into this, my county manager, my county commissioners, people that have really went out of their way, both Republicans, Democrats, you name it. Everybody has gotten behind this, Mr. Lambert. And what we came up with is what we're calling it, Pilot S.O.S. Save our sisters, save our sons, save our society. And basically, it is a new pilot program that we're laying out as it relates to domestic violence in this community. And basically what we have done is we have coupled new technology, real-time intelligence, camera systems, education, manpower, the DA's office, and so many people have come together to create what we call this program. And I will say in advance, it's not a fix-all, save-all, but what I will tell you, it will save some. Basically what this program is that people will enter what is called Bridges to Hope. The clients will go to Bridges to Hope. They will be assessed. Family Services, they'll do a threat assessment on them. If they meet the assessment that has been set forth with that, they will begin what we call the pilot program. The pilot program involves camera systems that have been donated, which will be given to them, which will allow us to tap in to the exterior of the residence. We'll see who's coming and going. We have partnered with a security company which will allow us to give them early warning devices, which I won't go into that because I don't think it's for public consumption. But it's technology that we haven't used in this space before that I think is going to be a game changer for anyone that's a part of it. In addition to that, there's an agreement that takes place between the client and our agencies. We will do what we are calling security checks on the residents. They have went into a special place in our CAS system, both Winston, Kernersville, Sheriff's Office, to where if that address comes up, it's a priority one call. And working with my partner, my good friend, the DA's office, he is committed to giving these cases special attention. In addition to that, I got some pushback on it, and this is where I say I don't want to be politically correct on this. If you have been charged with a domestic violence case, we're going to give you some media attention, social media that is. We're going to post you over our 100,000 followers to let the world know that you have been charged with domestic violence, just like we do any other person that have been charged with DWI and whatever the cases may be. Also, we have composed a letter that between the agencies that we will send out to that person, almost like letting you know that you have called the attention of probation, parole, the police departments in this area, the DA's office, CJN, family services. Because what we believe is by so many times the names and the people and the voices that was left, the voicemail that was left on my phone, people are crying and dying alone. And we've got to give it more attention. We've got to give it more energy than we've given it before. And so by doing that, we're doubling down here at the Sheriff's Office. We're adding one more investigator to Bridges of Hope. We would love to increase the numbers on this program, but as always, money is a factor. So we're starting out with 20 as the number, 20. Our hope is that as days go, we get funding to increase the numbers. I would love to be able to provide every client that is struggling or being abused with this program, because I think it's a game changer to have someone checking on you every day. We have moved our victim assistance coordinator over to domestic violence to make sure they're contacting the persons every day. We have moved, as I said, another investigator over there to make sure that if they're not responding, answering, we will send somebody to the residence to check on them. And so I just wanted to share some of the topics or some of the highlights with it to let you know where we're moving with this piece of it. We're providing what I call an educational piece. So many times, if you don't work in this space, you don't know the security measures. You know, like most of us is working this place. We have a routine, how we go home, what we do when we get home. And so what we're doing is adding an educational piece to the clients of family services and Bridges to Hope, to where we're going to do a security check of their residents, door stoppers, educating them on things that they need to know as they move around in their residence. And I think that with adding the camera system to the three agencies that you have here, to where not only will I be able to see it, Kernersville, Winston Police Department, in our real-time intelligence systems, to where allowing us to access your cameras, I'm going to be able to see the exteriors of your homes, who's coming, who's going, as well as you being able to see them as well as a client. And so I think those are just some of the game changers, and the technology piece that we have added, that we have partnered with the technology company, is going to be a game changer for personal security, a game changer. So we're excited about that. And so what I like to do is invite my friends up one at a time, and they will share with you what their roles are going to be in this partnership, what we're calling Pilot S.O.S.
Good morning. I'm Chief Deputy Henry Gray with the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. I'm responsible for the day-to-day operations of this agency. We are committed to the success of Pilot S.O.S. and the partnership of the men and women seated before us. But to go in a little more detail, I'd like to call up Captain Robbie Chennault.
Good morning. I'm Captain Robbie Chennault of the Criminal Investigations Division here at the Sheriff's Office. The Criminal Investigations Division has assigned investigators that will implement and oversee the Pilot S.O.S. program, alongside with our partners of Bridges to Hope and Family Services. This program will be a great tool in assisting us in the fight against domestic violence. We all know that this is a very serious problem in our society. The Sheriff's Office investigators will investigate serious domestic violence cases that happen throughout the county. We will work closely with the District Attorney's Office to make sure that these offenders find justice for committing acts of domestic violence. At this time, I'd like to welcome up the District Attorney, Jim O'Neill.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here, supporting our efforts today. Adversity breeds opportunity. That's the truth. It was about a month ago that we had a survivor here of domestic violence in Forsyth County who predicted that her ex-husband was going to come and kill her. Predicted it. We knew about it. This program, had we had this in place 60 days ago, may have made a difference in her life. It's sad that we are still talking about this 30 years later. When I started in the DA's office back in 1997, I was assigned to be the domestic violence prosecutor. And it's a very frustrating experience. But you come to understand that so many of our victims here in Forsyth County, across the state, they can't get the help that they need. You know, our partners with Bridges of Hope, the police department, the sheriff's department, Kernersville Police Department, adult probation, we all got together to be sure that we were supporting this in the way we needed to so that we could save lives moving forward. You know, our county manager, you and your team have been phenomenal in supporting efforts like this. And so we hope that you will continue to help us save lives. And it's not just the district attorney's office, as I said, it takes the full complement of all the law enforcement partners in this community, as well as our friends over the county commissioners and our friends at Bridges to Hope. So thank you all for being here. We love this program, and we are so hopeful that it'll make a difference in people's lives in this community.
And good morning, everyone. My name is Damian Merritz. I'm an assistant chief with the Kernersville Police Department. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the sheriff for coming up with this program. I think it's one that brings all the agencies together for one common goal. Also want to thank Bridges to Hope, who's been fantastic. I'm new to this part of the department, and Dewana with Bridges to Hope has welcomed me. It's so important that this crime is prevented in every way possible. I want to, again, thank all the agencies for working together and let you know that here in Kernersville, we're 100% committed to the S.O.S program and doing everything we can to stop domestic violence. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sherry Cook, and I'm the Judicial District Manager here at Forsyth County for Probation, the Department of Adult Correction. With me is Travois Banks. He's Chief of our Domestic Violence Unit here in Forsyth County, and we are looking forward to working with this project. It reaffirms our commitment to offender accountability, community supervision, and also rehabilitation and utilizing community interventions to provide victim safety. And we're very committed. We thank the sheriff for being a part of this and pulling this together. We have worked with Bridges to Hope for many years in this arena, and we're glad to have additional partners added to the process. Thank you.
Good morning, William Penn, Winston-Salem Police Department. First, let me thank all my partners in the room. There's an understanding that we realize we cannot do this alone. All month, we've been talking about domestic violence and all the gaps that make it one of the most complex calls for services that we go on. This pilot S.O.S is going to help with those gaps. I believe the sheriff when he said we will save lives with this technology. However, in speaking on collaboration and technology, we still can't do it alone. So for all the technology we have, for all the collaboration we have, we still need the community to call in. See something, say something. Utilize the resources at Bridges to Hope. It's going to take all of us working together to close the gaps in domestic violence. I also would like to say the S.O.S, it's save our sisters, save our sons. I wanna challenge our men to utilize these services. You're not less than a man by walking away and utilizing this resource. So that's my challenge to you all. Again, I want to thank my partners in crime fighting for the discussion, for pushing each other, for challenging ideas and doing something different. Our community is better for it.
Good morning. My name is Charles A. Lucas. I am the court liaison for the Sieging program, and I would definitely like to thank Sheriff Kimbrough for this invite and to make sure that all of us understand how important it is to help each other and secure the safety of others. We are basically, with Sieging, we do the GPS technology. What Sieging means is central justice, okay? And information network. We are fully aligned with the S.O.S program, and we look forward to working with all its members and all the stakeholders. Please call us. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Carty Garvin, CEO of Family Services of Forsyth County. To Sheriff Kimbrough, thank you. And to all the stakeholders who are gathered here, I just want to assure you we are in lockstep with this brilliant plan, S.O.S, and we are committed to also deploying our resources to support the effort as well. I just want to point out a couple stats here. Last year, Family Services, our advocates who serve at Bridges to Hope Forsyth Family Justice Center, we helped over 1,300 members of our community understand their rights to safety while experiencing domestic violence. And of those 1,300, about 1,100 sought emergency domestic violence protection orders. 742 were granted. That means that 742 abusers were notified by the sheriff's office not to attempt to contact or to see the survivor. But few understood or respected that order. Violations of protective orders are frequent and have carried little to no consequence. But today, that changes with S.O.S. So we're very pleased, Family Services, to announce that we will be expanding our collaboration with Forsyth County Sheriff's Office to include referrals to the S.O.S pilot program and ongoing participation in collaborative meetings to provide continued survivor support and achieve stronger accuser accountability. The S.O.S pilot includes focused law enforcement, as we've heard from Sheriff Kimbrough and others, that really to enhance the response and also to provide basic home safety tools and more for survivors. And so we're very, very pleased to be a part of this. We're looking forward to the partnership. And it means to us, and I think to the community, increased safety and support for our neighbors, our family, and friends who are suffering with domestic violence in their homes and in their lives. Domestic violence, it can be found in every part of our community and in our neighborhoods. And today we draw a line in the sand. Thanks for having us.
Good morning, Dewana Hamlin, Director of Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center. A Family Justice Center exists in a community to reduce domestic violence-related homicides, increase victim safety, increase offender accountability, provide efficient and seamless services, and facilitate and implement institutional and systemic change that shifts towards survivor-centered approaches. Bridges to Hope Family Justice Center for Forsyth County works with more than 16 partner agencies, on-site and off-site, including the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, the Winston-Salem Police Department, Family Services, Kernersville Police Department, Department of Adult Correction, the District Attorney's Office, and other agencies represented here today. I applaud the leadership of these agencies, along with Forsyth County government, in seeing a challenge and developing solutions to create a safer community where survivors' experiences and needs are involved in the planning and implementation of services. Thank you again to Sheriff Kimbrough and the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office for the vision and the commitment to victim safety.
Again, I want to thank you all for coming out today, but I just want to reiterate what my friend said, is that we're truly drawing a line in the sand and we're going on the offense. I can't thank you all enough. You have no idea what it means to have partners like the DA's office, Kernersville, Winston, probation, parole, the support. And I tell you that because it's going to take all of us to change the narrative, because in some cases we failed. But I'm here to tell you we can do better and we are going to do better. And so I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the partnerships from Raleigh, from Donnie Lambert, Miss Baker, Miss Brown, our county commissioners, my county managers. We couldn't do this without funding. We could not do this without collaborative efforts. And I think that we're on track to increase those numbers. But it's going to take funding to increase those numbers, because the layered approach that we have, we believe, is a game changer going on the offense. Again, we have time for a few more questions, and we'll call it a day, but I thank you in advance. Yes, ma'am. I saw you first in the back.
Do you have any statistics on how frequent or how many domestic violence cases you've had this year or even in the years past?
I'll yield to either Family Service, Bridges to Hope. I don't keep the numbers, but if we don't have them, I'll get you to them. You have a number, Chief? You have?
I can tell you, for out in the county of Forsyth, we've had well over 4,000 reported domestic violence cases. This is for 24 and 25 year to date.
Yes.
On the video and technology, and in the case that a victim is taken a home by the use, what are the realities behind that? So,
If they're living in a home that's owned by the abuser. So that's a good question. Some of the issues that we have looked at is who lives in the house, who owns the house, and how we will get around that. So many times, when it goes to court, I guess that may be a legal question for Mr. O'Neill, but, if there's a 50B in place, there's a lot of factors that are going to weigh into how we move on that.
I think the sheriff just touched on it, which would be if there's a restraining order in place, it's the abuser that has to leave. It's not our victim. So you touched right on it. And when you have a restraining order in place or a court order keeping the offender away, that's how we separate them.
When you hang around a lawyer, you get smarter. Don't hang around this lawyer there. That's who I've been hanging around. Yes. Then you up. Go ahead.
So the camera, how will that work? Is there children in the house? Is that any concerns? Is it going to be from the outside? On the outside?
Yes. We're not looking in the interior of your home. That's your privacy. Just like your doorbell camera, just like any Ring doorbell camera, it shoots the exterior, front and rear. So it's like if your doorbell rang, like mine goes off all the time, mailman, Amazon, kids coming, going, it rings, I see who it is. Same thing if you or a client had the services.
Will you utilizing something like was the Salem has where they had a real-time crime center? Is that what it will have you with?
Right. So Winston has real time. The sheriff's office has real time. Prentisville have real time. Currently, we all are sharing views with one another. We actually started last week sharing in the triad, right? That's Greensboro, Winston, and High Point. And so here in Winston, we have always worked in a partnership of sharing our views. We've done that for years, myself and the chief. So, the real time will, in other words, Kernersville will be able to see those cameras, Winston, as well as the sheriff's office. Yes, sir.
You touched on it a bit at the beginning, but Sheriff, after you listened to that voicemail and you heard what happened to that young boy, what did that do to you?
Well, it made me sad, Somebody that I never met, didn't know, thought enough of me that I could save them, right? I thought about erasing the message last week. I did. But when I went to erase it, I couldn't. I talked with the DA about it. I talked with the police chief about it. I don't know. I don't know if anybody have ever called you and pleaded on the phone with you, trying to get help and saying the things that she said, and you get the message Monday. She's deceased when you get the message. And so I guess that was, as the district attorney said, that, out of tragedy, how did you coin that?
Adversity.
Adversity breeds opportunity. That's an adverse situation that brought us together. So to me, she didn't die in vain. I wish I could name it after her, because she is the one that sparked this. When I called my friend Mr. O'Neill and my friend the chief, and then I start saying, hey, what we gonna do? And we sat down together collectively. Then we brought another group together. And we realized that there's technology out there already that we could implement into this. And we contacted one of those companies, and they said we can tweak it to do exactly what you want. And what I tell you is, it's amazing. I wish I could share it and show it to you, but it is amazing. But because you are the media, you probably go tell 10,000 more people. But anyway, that has, I don't want to say scarred me, but that message has affected me. No one has ever left me a message like that. No one. Yeah. I carry it every day on my phone. Any more questions? Yes.
So it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Talk to me about, I think the common thing we hear, whether it's from North Carolina or out of the state, is that as somebody on the legal side, your hands can be tied at some point. So what are some of the barriers that this program can kind of break down so that
You are a mutual health person when they come to you vulnerably say, I need your help.
One of the barriers that I think is going to break down is having a team. In other words, so when you look at the number of people that we put on this pilot program, it's almost like we're going to customize our service to you. We're going to know where you are, how you're moving. Someone's going to be checking in with you every day. We're going on the offense by posting your picture on social media as you've been charged with domestic violence, by sending you a letter letting you know that we know who you are. You have caught the attention of all of us. I think that alone is a game changer. Nobody wants their picture posted in front of 100,000 people saying that you've been charged with domestic violence. Also, the technology that we're utilizing is a game changer. That's breaking down barriers. I had to go through some hoops with my lawyer and a few other lawyers as to the camera system. There's a lot of legalities involved in who, what, and how a camera system is used. For an example, if I give you the camera, then it's police equipment and therefore you can't see it. But if someone else gives you the camera, then it's a different conversation. So we have broken down a lot of barriers. Brilliant minds went into this Talk to me, Chief. Yeah.
I just want to jump in a second on that one. One of the barriers it busts down for us is one of the unique things about domestic violence is the relationship, right? And so it's easy to say, don't do this, but if somebody you care about, you think they care about you, you may be more likely or reluctant to say no. Real time. So we're not waiting on the phone call. We're not waiting to see if it goes well or not. We're coming. All of us will be coming. And so I think that's the barrier that it breaks down. It's just a real time response by these agencies.
And code 1 is how we coming. Yeah. So that's a good point, Chief. Yes, you had one.
And just speaking outside of the home, I mean, a lot of instances, victims are dealing with court cases felt ex parte, permanent order. I mean, how do we ensure that the abusers aren't violating those protective orders?
So by adding, doubling down, as I said, with investigators, you have a victims coordinator that's going to be walking through this whole process with you on a daily basis, who will have direct contact with Mr. O'Neill and his team. So it's a different conversation. And I think a lot of times in life is, it ain't what you're asking for, it's who's asking, how you show up. You know, when a team shows up, it's a different conversation than you showing up as an individual. To someone that is abusing a woman or physically abusing a woman, he sees her as an individual. Now he has to see her as an army.
Wait, one thing on that, and follow up with the sheriff on that. When an abuser is brought into court and they're taken before a judge, you know, again, it's sad that this is where we are in our world, but you know, we've got full-time people over in the DA's office whose job it is to come in and look at these cases, and these people work on Sundays to figure out what's an appropriate bond to be set on Monday morning. Elizabeth Drazel, my chief assistant, Jocelyn Reel, who's the supervisor over our domestic violence unit. We ask for bonds that are extremely high. And if an offender violates the terms of their pretrial release, we're going to come back into court and ask the judge to revoke their bond. But your point is well taken, that it doesn't always happen in the home. It happens in other places. And if we find an offender violating the restraining order or the court order, we'll continue to do what we've done for 30 years, which is go to the courts and ask the courts to revoke those bonds and put the offenders in prison where we know our victim will be safe.
Yes.
Family justice brings both sort of angle in working with these victims. What will the carer sort of provide them in a mental sense of knowing that if an abuser does show up, you're coming immediately, but even if they don't show up, that protection is there 24/7. What is that going to do to sort of help those victims? Because their mentality can be altered forever by these instances.
Yes, I think it's a psychological support. In other words, the cameras that you have at your house is a psychological support that if your doorbell rings, you can see who's out there. If you get an alert on the motion detector or what have you, you can look out there and see who's at your door. Also, the technology, the piece that we have not shared with you is another game changer. All the layered security that we have laid around this pilot program, not only does it provide physical, but it's a psychological thing that I think will be a game changer to these type of issues or these type of cases.
Talked about funding. I mean, how do you have a rough number?
Yeah, so I don't like to talk numbers, but it's not cheap. To do it how we want to do it, I'm going to need manpower. The chief's going to need manpower. I'm going to need resources. The equipment that I'm talking to you about is not cheap. You know, I say this, my county manager, Ms. Robinson, she's been amazing in helping me pull this off. And of course, she probably knows that I want to grow it. She probably knows that in the upcoming months for the upcoming budget, I'm going to give her a whopping number. And I think that standing this up now as a pilot program, we will have the data, we will have the support of the community, of the agencies, to where there are some things that must be done. And this is one of those that must be done because the numbers bear out that too many of our sisters, too many of our sons in our society are being abused. And so we can do better. Again, I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. I want to thank all of my partners. I want to thank the men and women of the FCSO for the last month or so that I've been driving you on this. I've probably been very unbearable to work with for the last month, getting this across the finish line. So I thank you all. You all have a great rest of the week. We love you. If you want to talk to any of these individually, they'll be available. Thank you.